Annie, nice to meet you in person and to have you here at HoS Sound.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me. It's a
Pleasure.
pleasure. It's a big pleasure being here. And a super nice place. I really
Thank you.
like it.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you, what is one of your first good memories with music?
Well, good memories. I have a lot. One, actually, that, of course, I remember um, so well. It was when I realized that I want to become a DJ and I want to do this professionally. Yes, I have already mentioned it in my previous interview, uh, but yeah, it's. I was in a party. I was watching a DJ playing, and I was like, not jealous, but jealous in a good way because I wanted to be there. I was seeing myself there. So I went out of the club and I started crying. And this was actually the moment that I realized that I want to do it professionally. So this was like a very, very good memory. And like the click
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
comes in your mind and you're just taking the most serious and good decisions.
Yeah, fair enough. When was that? How long ago?
Well, I think it was in 2016,
Yeah.
as far as I remember. Yeah, because after that, I decided to focus on production and to
Yeah.
to create my own sound, my own art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read that you started producing in 2017. Eventually, that was just after this. You were like,
Yes.
let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for a long time, you had another job in construction, so very different from music. Yeah, until eventually you decided to split.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you happy with the decision now? Or have you
Uh,
left the other job?
no, yes. I
Yeah.
think it was the best decision I ever made because, well, I studied interior architecture and product design. Of course, I love it. And I was very, very happy that I was working on that field as well. But, my passion for music, I think it was much bigger,
Yeah.
So I was at work and my mind wasn't there, to be honest. My mind was in the studio, in the events, So, and at some point, I wasn't that good as I used to be in interior design. And then when the touring started to roll better, I decided to quit. This happened actually last June. So now it's like 1 year and some months that I'm doing only that. And to be honest, it was like the best thing that I could do.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the
Yeah.
right time as well,
It was
probably.
it was risky because of course I'm not that a well established artist, and back then I wasn't also so well established. So yeah, it was risky, but I decided to do it.
Yeah. And like when you think about what was going on in your mind when you were making this decision, what was your worst case scenario when you were thinking, oh shit, if I do this?
Well, yeah, the worst case scenario was that I won't make it as an artist, and I will come back to what
Yeah.
I was doing because I also have a lot of experience on that field, and since now I have also some projects that I'm working on that for some friends, but yeah, like I wasn't stressed about it, to be
Yeah.
honest. I just wanted to experiment and I just wanted to try to achieve what I really want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
And
You did it.
I was pretty sure that I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did someone in your circle, like your boyfriend at that time, your partner, your family, your friends, did they support you in that decision?
Yes, definitely. My husband now,
Yeah.
of course, he supported me a lot from the very, very start. He also was the one that helped me a lot to take this decision as well. And yeah, he was there like from the very, very start of my production process. Of course, my family as well, my friends, not all of them, because, some people, in the first time, they're not realizing how important is that to you, this to you. So, yeah, most of them, they were really, really close to me, and they were supporting me a lot.
That's great.
Yeah, I want to thank them as well.
Big thanks to your husband as well, who is here supporting you.
Yeah.
And talking about your creative practice and how you make music, how did your process evolve over time, since when you started 7 years ago until this week?
When I started, of course, it was totally different. Mostly it was like exploring, learning, understanding, like how everything is working, because I couldn't even understand anything, to be honest. Like the first year, it was very, very tough for me. So it was like a timing of mostly failure, to be honest. Yeah, but now it's that of course I understand very good the harmonics, the music overall, and now it's more about mastering, tools, and finding new ideas, finding new processes, and new futuristic sound designs. Of course, I have a lot of things to learn.
Yeah.
And nobody is perfect, but definitely it has a big difference from the very, very start since now. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is like technical knowledge, of course. I think
Yes.
you never stop, right? You will always continue.
Never.
Yeah. And in the way you feel your art, like for example, do you feel free now in expressing everything you have?
Well, it depends, I think. Yeah, I'm feeling free to technically. I'm feeling free and more confident now.
Yeah.
But when it comes to ideas or to inspiration, for example, it depends. It's not every day the same,
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel free to do whatever I want. Sometimes it's not exactly like that. It's something is I feel restricted for some reasons. Maybe it's personal weights or stress or whatever. But yeah, I mean, according to the skills and technical part, is totally improved. At least.
With time, of course, you're putting a lot of time and energy into it.
Yes. Especially during COVID, to be honest, I was totally fully immersed into that. I was losing, track of time and producing like every day, because of course we were almost like 2 years inside.
Yeah.
So this was like the very, very important period for me to just make, like a bigger step on that.
To focus more on your music as well and craft.
Yes, and of course I had time to explore the techniques and, to understand everything and what is going on with the machines, with the technical parts, with softwares as well. Yeah, it was very important.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about your inspiration. I read Steph Mendicides. It's been a big inspiration for you. So what inspires you from his music, from Steph's music?
Yeah, well, yes, Steph is a big inspiration for me. Of course, the thing that really admire to him is the authenticity that he has, that he's creating music which is very to the point. He's with a deeper meaning on that, but using less. So this is also inspires me to my productions as well. He's very, very precise on the sound design, and very sometimes his tracks sounds complicated, but they're not. So yeah, this is something that I really admire on producers. And it's not only Steph, it's many more artists that I really really like, and of course I have some references from them. But I think that he's a mastermind on his art. Yeah.
Especially in the last few years, I think he went like full on. When he started, I think when he started to go only live sets, not just set, he just went into a very precise direction.
Exactly, and this is actually very very interesting.
Yeah.
Because the sound that he's creating is is getting into your mind.
Yeah.
And like even on the dance floor, you remember the melodies, you remember the his tracks, which is something really important.
Yeah.
And emotional.
Yes. And I think maybe it's also a big product of him spending all of his time in this. So just went full on into...
Yes, full on, and he's very strict on that.
Yeah.
Yes. Very, very, authentic
on
what he's doing.
Yeah, inspiring as well in a way, like, whether one chooses to do the same thing or not, it's inspiring to see a person who just says, I want to do this, fuck everything else.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah. And ANNÄ, what inspires you at the moment?
I think inspiration comes from everything. It can also come from something totally unrelated to music in my daily life. Maybe a walk in the sea, besides the sea, like when I have a creative burnout, But I think mostly people is my inspiration. Other artists as well. Sometimes I find myself like listening to tracks from artists that I like and to get inspired from these tracks, and not the tracks technically, but the general mood, or like the deeper emotions that they are, you feel when you are listening to these tracks. So yeah, I think people that surrounds you is the most important thing.
Yeah. How does that translate into your own music? For example, if you have a beautiful experience, you meet a person, you're having a walk with a friend, with a close person you are connected to, does that translate directly into your ideas or what you make out of a track? Or is more in the background and then you create?
Well, of course, inspiration is only the beginning. Okay, you get inspired from people, you get inspired from something, and then it's your idea that it's in front. Everything else is back, and then you create like with your own line of aesthetic and your own emotions, because it always depends on you at the end.
Yeah. And is there any particular track of yours that you feel connected with? And why?
Well, okay, this is the worst thing that you can do to me. I can't answer questions like which is your best, But yeah, well, I'm connected with all of my tracks, to be honest, because everything came in a different period of my life, and of course every track of mine has a totally different mood. If you listen, for example, my discography, maybe you think that I'm a bipolar, because some tracks are more tooly and more darker, that represents like a more quiet or more dark period of my life. Some other tracks are more melodic and cheerful, for example. Because my music is totally based on my feelings. But if I have to say like one or two tracks, or maybe three, maybe it could be like Heal My Soul, which is released on Neutral Rhythm, and Virgin as well, released on Netsto, or Trinity, for example, which was like my first record release, vinyl release, in Life in Patterns. because these tracks have been created without any expectations.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting anything. I wasn't expecting, to fit on a trend, or they just came like that,
Yeah.
just for a click on my mind. I got inspired from I don't even remember. Like I was sitting in the chair. No, I was like I had the melodies in my mind. So it was like when I was producing these tracks, it was like a relief, you
Yeah.
know. So I think, I would say these tracks, or maybe.
Does it feel like these tracks just came out of you without thinking? You just
Yes, of course. Yeah, as we talked about inspiration, I had inspiration and references, but I was experiment a lot with different kind of music, not particularly techno, So I was trying to combine a lot of things, vocals, melodies, and it's just I just created these,
Yeah.
So, and with some tracks, I didn't expect for them to be released, but at least I released them, and at the end, they were like
Yeah.
very, very successful. Yeah.
Very interesting. And you were thinking that these tracks were not worth releasing, and then they became successful.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're producing and you feel that okay, this track is gonna work and this is my favorite track, but nobody is choosing
Cares.
it.
Yeah.
So you just ended up deleting it.
Yeah. Yeah. Does it happen a lot?
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot, a lot. But at the end, when a track is released on a label, it's like, uh, you know, it's alive, So
Yeah.
you're just thinking about it in a different way. Like, well, yes, maybe, for example, he was right. The
Yeah.
track is nice, and when you are processing it into your mind, you just realize that this track is really nice. Because in the first years, I wasn't sending my music to many people. Just Sarah was listening to them because, of course, we are sharing the same studio, and also like one person more or two. So I wasn't aware of, if this track will work
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And interesting, because how did you change your mind, for example, into sending more music to people? Did you, it was confidence that you had to build in your own music? Or it was just more that you were not ready at that time?
Um, well, I was sending music to two people just because I wasn't feeling confident. So I wanted their opinion, um, which was really important for me. And now, to be honest, I'm not sending my tracks so often, even like to those people, because I feel more confident. But back then, I just wanted, a second or a third opinion. But that's all, because
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
okay,
just sending your music to everybody, then you're just getting to be distracted,
yeah.
So
Then
it's
you
not good.
yeah, yeah. Then you basically, yeah, you don't trust yourself anymore,
Yes,
because you
exactly.
always shift the responsibility to
Yes.
the other people.
And of course, as the time goes by, you create your own style, your own signature, and you feel more confident, and you know that this is working, this is not working. Also, DJing helps a lot, because I'm always playing my track. I'm always playing my tracks in my gigs, even released, even unreleased, like directly from the studio to the dance floor. So I'm checking them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And when you started then releasing on labels, how did, for example, I mean, Mutual Rhythm, Soma, um, how did they happen? Did you send them the demos, or you got in touch with the owners and then they asked?
Mm, um, it depends because, for example, when I make my first release in Out of Place, I was with Insolate in my house, and I was like, I put some tracks to play on the laptop, and she heard the tracks and said like, okay, you can send them to me. We can
Amazing.
make a release.
Yeah.
So after this release, I think some people just started to search for my music. Then, for example, in Hard Groove and Symbolism, I got in touch with Ben Sims. I sent him in SoundCloud, as far as I remember, and he reacted with positive
Very cool.
answer. And then mostly like they are contact me. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
contact me. Mutual Rhythm, Marco sent me on Instagram. I remember I was jumping all around,
So cool, no?
Yes.
He's super nice as well.
Yeah. Then I met Nastia and I sent her playlist.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I also contact Soma back then. But now it's easier because everything comes more natural.
Yeah. You have a body of work as well. Like people know your music, they can look it up, and then it's
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're playing as well more, which means you meet more people, you meet more artists, you exchange music
Exactly.
naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any of these labels that for you was like, wow, okay, I can't believe I'm releasing already on this label?
I think wow is the whole thing for me, to be honest. I mean, I can't even believe that I'm here and I'm reacting and I'm communicating with all these people.
Yeah.
I think every label it's a step for me, even a small one or a big one. Yeah, all of them.
Yeah. I read in another interview you released, which you said you wish, like one of your desires is that people understand you through your music. Do you think, did it ever happen that you had a person that came to you and understood exactly what you felt with a set or with a track?
Yes, actually, this is the most beautiful thing that is happening to me, to be honest. And this is that I call success to my art, because I'm receiving a lot of messages, and of course a lot of people come and explain how my music, for example, they healed them in a very bad period of their lives, or like how my music can touch them. So yeah, this is really important, because when I produce a track, of course I'm trying to print my inner thoughts, emotions, feelings into this track. So if someone, like even if one person can get these feelings, for me it's very important, and it's a big success, because it's like an unspoken conversation.
Yeah.
And we as producers, we need to make people feel through our music.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's emotions. I think you also said that before.
Yes.
Like if you feel, I really think that like if we as artists could feel the emotions truthfully, and then we figure out our way to put that into art, music, or something else,
Exactly.
then there's a chance that someone will feel something. There's a higher chance that someone will feel something. It might not be exactly what we feel, but it moves them in a way.
Exactly.
And you can tell, like when someone is like, wow, it's the best thing.
Sometimes, they can't, even if they can't understand what I was feeling at that moment while I was producing the tracks, like, melodies or whatever, for example, they create something to them. So for me, even if it's electronic music, techno or pop or whatever genre, you need to feel the track. That's why I said that it's all about emotions. Because when you are listening a track, when you are listening to music, you feel. So this is important to know that people are getting, a strong connection with me, a deeper connection with me. And
Yeah.
I can call myself now a kind of musician. Of course, I'm not, I've never studied music. It's all self-taught, but I create music and people are feeling my music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's such a beautiful thing when you get
Yes.
someone to even tell you, and there's, I think, even more people that feel but they don't tell you, for whatever
Exactly.
reason.
Yeah.
And what does it mean to be an artist for you?
Yeah, artist is everything. I think it's being honest, expressing, a truth, expressing my truth through my art and my music. And of course, it's like a personal thing, but at the same time, it's universal thing.
Yeah.
So it's when you are an artist, you need to be authentic. You need to be humble. You need to communicate with the other people what you are trying to say through your art and not words. So for me, being an artist is expressing your inner self
Yeah.
to the public.
Yeah, for sure. I think having the courage to do that, like in being doing that truthfully, is a big thing. Yeah, it takes a
Exactly.
long time.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that before, the success for you is to be able to do this. And what mindset have you cultivated or have you created for yourself that is helping you being successful long term?
What mindset? Well, I have a lot of patience, to be honest. Patience and constant work, being humble, as I mentioned before, and I think it's like solving problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to work hard and to be totally into that if you want to be successful. This is the mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you train your patience? Were you always like this, or
No.
it's a process? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm just sick and tired to listen like you need to make patience. You need to make patience.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just like no, I don't have any patience. I want that now, but this is wrong, because then you realize that when you have patience, everything will come.
Yeah.
Everything will come on their own time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still processing it, of course.
Yeah. Is there something that you believe and that most people would disagree with?
Yeah, this is a difficult question. I would say that sometimes inspiration comes from limitations, because like most people, they would say like maybe inspiration comes from freedom or whatever. I think that I found myself in a very, very stressed moments to my inspiration to be like more. Yeah. So I think that boundaries sometimes are important
Yeah.
for an artist.
They push you to,
Yes.
to find more, probably, right? And,
Yeah. And when you find it, it's like a breakthrough.
Yeah.
So it's more fascinating for me.
Yeah. Is there any piece of advice that you are tired of hearing?
Yeah, I told you, like,
patience?
make patience.
Wait.
Yeah,
more.
wait.
Yeah.
You will do it next year. No, I want it now. You know? Yeah, but it's mostly like the excitement that I have, that I want to do it, to do some things now. For example, I want to release on that label now. No, you are not ready yet. You need to work on it more. Patience.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I hate hearing that, but
But it's true.
it's the truth. Yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah. It's a pill you need to take. You know, it's a very bitter pill. When you go to the doctor, you need
Exactly.
to take it. That's it. Yeah. And I wanted to explore your DJing. So, what do you feel when you DJ compared to when you produce music?
Yeah, this is totally different thing, definitely. But still, I really like it because I really like to connect with people, and I want to give people like energy and to take energy back. So it's totally a game of interaction,
Yeah.
and I feel like super energetic at the moment while I'm playing. I also like. I really like to explore and to read my crowd, from the body language, from the facial expressions, and it's something like magical when you're feeling this energy, inside the room. Yeah, there was sometimes that I was playing and I didn't want to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a magical feeling in general.
Yeah. Would you call it a state of flow? You know, the flow is like when you stop thinking, you're just like going with your art, your craft. You're not here anymore. You just feel something and you,
Yes.
yeah.
Most of the times it's like that.
I read that in other interviews that you really pay attention to the crowd. How do you adapt? Let's say, hypothetical example, you're playing, it's a nice gig. At some point, the dance floor gets empty. People leave. Maybe they went to smoke, right? But then
It's
you might be,
happening,
yeah, it happens, right?
Oh,
London is like that, for
yeah, yeah,
example.
yeah.
And then you might be thinking, oh shit, I must be doing something wrong. How do you interpret the right signals, or how do you then decide to shift? Maybe I'll play something slightly different.
Yes, of course it's happening. It depends. It depends on the club because that at some clubs everybody's going outside to smoke and then they're coming in
Yeah.
and out. It's a part of the game and a part of the process. Of course, there were a lot of times that I was doubting for myself and for my set. Um, Especially when I was, in some gigs that it's like more like festivals, because you see all the people in front of you, and when they're not dancing, it's like
Yeah.
you are starting to self-doubt. Well, I think the most important thing is just to watch the body language, definitely. Yeah, there were times that I changed the mood, and it worked.
Yeah.
So it depends. It depends on the whole energy. Yeah.
Yeah. Body language is very interesting. I also find it very cultural dependent.
Yes.
For example, I was also speaking with Marcal, and he said, in Latin America, like, people shout. That's like the way
Yes.
people show appreciation.
They're shouting a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
They're very excited.
Very excited. And you go to a country in Europe, in most countries in Europe, people don't shout on the dance floor, and you think, oh, maybe, nobody gives a shit.
Well, yeah, no, because there are a lot of ways to entertain yourself. Some people are just having fun by dancing alone quietly in a corner, or maybe some other like they're shouting like crazy in front
Yeah.
row. So it depends also on the set, on the mood of the set, on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, of course, some countries are more, quiet,
Yeah.
but still, I think you can create the perfect vibe by giving them like the exact energy.
Yeah.
Some people are getting it, some others not, but it's also like a part of the process.
Yes, for sure. And you said also that performance is like a ritual. I love this definition of
Yes, yes.
what's your ritual to make sure that for you it's a good performance.
Yeah, well, I don't have like a specific recipe for that, but I'm always trying to create the perfect flow of the night, and I'm always careful about what the previous DJ is playing, because um, these people are listening to a tempo, and they are getting into a mood for, let's say, 2 hours. So you need to take them slowly from that mood and to put them in your mood.
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to make like a small warm up to myself at the beginning, like let's say half an hour or 40 minutes, just to take them from the previous mood and to make them like understand then my set.
Yeah.
So I think it's a collaborative process, if you want to create like the perfect atmosphere in a club.
Yeah. And it takes time to build up. I think do you find it easier when it's a longer set?
Yes, I like longer sets, to be honest. Yeah, lately. I mean, when I started playing, I think my favorite was 2 hours. But now I think 3 hours are perfect, and even like 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have time to connect with people.
Yeah.
And of course to explore more sounds and to create like a flow, because when I play I'm just trying to create my own groove.
Yeah. And it takes time. Sometimes you just need to actually warm up and feel comfortable,
exactly.
understand the equipment, the sound system, the vibe of the night. Yeah.
But also you said the right word. It always depends on the sound system, because if you play on a shitty sound system like for 4 hours, it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. It sucks a lot of energy. And for example, another thing that I started being more aware of is noise, like excessive noise. I always wore earplugs for 18 years now, but I think now like it's really affecting me so much. If the sound system is too loud, and I don't have my earplugs, I get tired much more.
Yes, it's really frustrating for us as DJs and also for the crowd, because you can't create the perfect vibe if the sound is not good calibrated.
Yeah, it's very hard. Well,
it can be like a disaster. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no,
you know, sometimes I was playing and I wasn't even recognizing my own tracks. You know, that bad sound system.
Yeah.
Was
there any crazy experience that you had, or very hard situations where you were playing and something happened?
Well, I don't remember about the craziest, let's say. Hard situation, I have a lot of them, definitely. Especially when the sound system is not good, you know? One hard situation was like that I was playing between two DJs that they were playing hard techno music.
Both of them? You were in between their sets?
Yes, I was in between
Good
them.
Luck.
Yes, and I was like, it was very, very challenging for me, because I didn't know what to play, to be honest, because the people that they were there, you know, they wanted to listen to this style, hard techno style, but I'm not playing hard techno. So it was super challenging for me. And I was thinking like to cancel it at all, because maybe it would be a disaster, you know?
Yeah.
But at the end, I just decided to keep the gig and to play what I play, of course, in a little bit more faster way. But it was really hard for me because the sound system was not good. Because of something happens, I don't know, like it was in Germany, like you have like very strange laws here, like for the birds and the worms and something like that, they just close the sound system. And you know, like I was playing, but nobody was listening in front of me, you know.
Wow.
So like almost 1.5 hours of my set, I was just jumping alone.
Yeah.
Because the sound was only in the booth and only the front row was listening, and you know, like nobody else was enjoying it. And I was feeling so embarrassed, and I just wanted to shut everything down and to leave, you know. But I didn't do it. I was trying to create the perfect vibe, and to create the perfect vibe also with the music.
Yeah.
That it was totally different. But at the end, the people were dancing, because sometimes it's hard to to play, you know, something different that from the whole lineup, but you need to educate people about your style.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Annie, do you have mentors, people that have supported you or support you if you have questions about your career, your life? Maybe people who have more experience than you in your career.
Of course, a lot of people are helping me, and if I want to ask or if I want to take an advice, to ask for advice, of course, I have some people that they're really helping me. Like even with one word, you know,
Yeah.
it's important to have some people in your life that they're doing this
Yes.
exactly thing, because sometimes you just stuck, you know, so you can't go on because you are totally immersed on your thoughts and overthinking about what I'm doing now or what should I do next, and you know, but some people are unlocking you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would say that I have some of them.
Yeah. That's great. And you and Sarah J are in a very close relationship. Of course, you're married now,
Yeah.
and you seem to be very solid pillar for each other. You have this function of supporting each other. What were the hardest challenges you had to overcome over the years?
Not that hard, I would say, because we are supporting each other very much, and we are getting into that together. Of course, it's really hard to have a relationship and also to have the same dream and the same you know, goal, to be also on the same job as well, because sometimes, you know, we are totally immersed on that, and sometimes we forget about some basic things of the relationship, you know. So yeah, there was a period, for example, that we were working so much on our own projects that we just forget about like us, you know,
As a two
as
humans
as
who
two
are
humans
together.
that we are together,
Yeah.
and of course two humans in a house, you know.
Yeah.
But at the end, you know, we are finding the balance, because you also need to be very willing to find a balance, the right balance between a relationship. Yeah.
Is there any way, like, how you finding this balance? Communication? You
Yeah,
do therapy together,
communication.
or?
Yeah, communication, talks,
Yeah.
because sometimes communication is getting lost. Of course, we are fighting a lot for the studio, for some ideas as well, because sometimes I have different opinion than him. He also has different opinion than me. So, but still, because we are very, very um, connected with each other, our bond is very, very strong.
Yeah.
So at the end, we have the same direction, and we find the perfect solution for
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I think also, like, fighting or having discussions makes your bond stronger.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, sometimes if you don't fight, there's a big problem, you know?
Of course.
Yeah.
And I think it's an interesting thing in life,
Yeah.
when you're fighting.
Yeah, because it makes you grow as an individual, but also in the relationship. You should
Exactly.
have it grows stronger, the bond. Yeah.
Because two individuals, you know, they have like separated point of views. You can't think the same with the other. So it's really nice just to try to understand you
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very true. How satisfied are you with your life, music career included, right now?
Well, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied. I have really nice people that surrounds me. Um, Music wise, of course, I'm satisfied, but as we talked about it before, this is like a never-ending procedure. I can be better
Yeah. Yeah.
every day. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy with my life, And it's important, you know, because I'm just trying to explore also myself every day, and this makes me a better person as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you tend to plan long term? Let's say, do you have a vision of what your life is going to look like in 10 years?
No.
No.
No, I don't like to plan.
Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe I won't be alive in 10 years. Who knows?
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're going to be alive.
Yeah, but you know, you never know.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't predict anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about the music scene, music industry right now, what is one of the most uncomfortable truths of music right now, the music industry?
For me, one uncomfortable truth is that sometimes people are not taking art seriously. And no matter what you're trying to achieve, no matter what you think about your arts, you may not be rewarded as you want. And, you know, sometimes industry is not fair. Also, we can also mention the hot topic now that is the closing of a slice,
Yeah.
which is also a very sad and frustrating topic of the scene, because you see that people is not supporting, is not contributing to the general good.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes some things are serious. It's not only about trends, it's not about what is in fashion. It's really sad to see people that they're just trying to take advantage of everything just to raise their awareness or to raise their followers, or just not to be themselves. So for me, realizing that it's really sad.
Yeah.
It's just disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough to make it work. Again, it's lies. It was a great thing for the industry. I think somehow they managed to move the needle because people now are talking about this topic. Royalties, supporting producers who don't get money from, you know, distribution, from labels, from streams. I think it was really important for Zach and the team to do all of this. The hard truth is that, again, like it's people don't pay for music. There's so much that is coming out in the market. It's very hard to get the money to producers unless, you know, you are top of the entire pack and then you manage to make some money. But I agree with you. Question is, like, if all the regions were like Richie Otini, which was one of the biggest contributors, and he's also like top artist and whatever, would this be different? Maybe yes. If everybody donated, like Richie Otini, Oscar Mulero, they were really active in paying out to other people, maybe his lives would have been sustainable right now.
Yes, definitely. I believe it. Of course, I think there are several reasons behind this. But, you know, it's not only the problem is not only the highest paid artists that they didn't contribute on this platform. I think that the most frustrating thing for me is that the thing that I mentioned before, that some people are just trying to take advantage of this just to promote themselves. Because, you know, even like smaller producers, even like smaller DJs like me, I know, for example, that they were playing my tracks. Like, I was watching stories, next story my track, next story my track, but I never received any playlist from them.
Yeah.
And now they're just trying to pretend and to be in fashion, and they're like so sad that a slice is closed suddenly, you know, just to be on the hot topic in the front, which is something that really bothers me. Because if you never used a slice, for example, for several reasons, which is respectful, okay?
Yeah.
Just don't pretend.
Yeah.
Don't be fake. You know, this is that really bothers me. Because some things are serious for the scene, and it's not only about the fame.
Yeah.
I mean, for the God's sake.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, I think that sometimes this needs to stop, you know, because sometimes art needs to be in the front, you know.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing.
Yeah. It's really, I think social media don't make this easier. Like,
no, I think
times.
it's not. it's very helpful to use social media for speaking out the truth, but also it needs attention because everybody can say whatever they want, which is respectful, but still, for me, you need to use social media for a good reason, and you need to have a balance.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like, and sometimes you have this phenomenon of the echo chamber. Like, everybody in your niche say something, and then a lot of people just start saying, like you're saying now, as life is closed, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon and saying, "Oh shit, this sucks."
Yeah.
But then, you have this kind of like thing. It becomes like an echo chamber, really, that repeats everything that has been said before.
Yeah. Of course, everybody can say their opinion, and it's totally respectful. I'm just talking specific for people that they're trying to take advantage of bad situations, you know. This is the most sad thing.
Yeah. And on a personal level, is there something that people get wrong about you? They make an assumption about you very often?
I don't know.
About your music?
Maybe we can ask them.
Yeah.
I can make a survey, actually.
Perfect. Yeah.
I don't know, really. Like, what do you think about me?
I bet you through your music. I think I don't have any misconception. I think it's good to, and I also am a person that doesn't judge so much. Like I try for myself not to make assumptions and to get to know the person independently from the idea that I might have of them. And I know you through your music, which I appreciate a lot. I support a lot.
That's good. So you know me through my music.
Yeah.
That's important.
And I didn't have an opinion until basically now. Like I didn't know much about you. Like we interacted by email, of course, but
The email is not like
exactly. You don't understand the tone,
example.
the vibe, exactly what a person is. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Sometimes through emails, you just feel that you're disconnected.
Yeah.
Or maybe this guy is weird, or but sometimes when you meet the person in person, it's totally different. I would say that maybe this is the thing that some people can assume about me, that maybe I'm a little bit distant.
Interesting.
Yeah, but at the end, when I meet people, I really like to interact with them.
Yeah, interesting. And we just had another interview today, and the other artist said the same thing. Like, people think that I'm very serious, and I'm not.
Well, yeah.
It's
This could be also one thing that I'm serious in my life in general, my daily life. But sometimes it's not only that.
Yeah. It's very hard when, for example, people know you from your art and whatever, they associate to the art something. For example, if you make art techno, people think you have a lot of pain in your life, like you're a dark person.
I don't know.
It's not true.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I never thought about it so deeply, to be honest. But of course, if you're just listening, a producer that is creating like only melodies, you may think like, he's very like pure soul.
Yeah. Maybe it's the opposite.
Yes.
It's very hard.
It reflects, your music reflects you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, for example, I know artists, sometimes even including myself, like my friends tell me, "Oh, your music sounds so sad and melancholic." I'm like, I'm one of the happiest person, all the time.
Yeah.
And somehow, I don't know, whatever I put out in music, it's not necessarily a reflection of my state. Like something that I put out, which is like maybe I put out a track that might seem sad, might not reflect what I'm feeling necessarily, or what I am normally, right? So yeah. And social media also created some kind of, you're not necessarily like the person that people would see in social media because they have an image of whatever, you playing in front of a lot of people on the stage, you having cool press shots where you look like kind of like serious. They haven't, this person must be like humble, for example, It's interesting.
Yeah, well, this is also another topic that it's nice to discuss about the social media, because it's a part of the work. Unfortunately, you can't be outside this. You need to have social media.
Mm-hmm.
I think nowadays it's important, but for me, I'm just trying to keep a balance between everything.
What's your relationship with social media? Do you use it every day?
Well, yeah, I'm using social every day, to be honest, but I don't like to promote a lot my personal things, my personal routine or life, let's say. Mostly because I don't want people to get distracted
Yeah.
by anything else than my music. For me, my music is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Uh, my tracks and of course my DJing performance as well. Because being an art, I'm trying to expose myself as an artist. I
Yeah.
don't care to be anything else.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, I can understand that people sometimes they just want to connect with you more deeply and to know about you and what are you doing in your daily life and
Yeah.
some things that I'm just trying to post some important moments of my life, but not all this time and not every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it works for you, or it takes a lot of energy?
No, it works.
Yeah. It's balanced.
It's balanced. Yeah. I'm trying not to,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, not to put social media on the first place in
Yeah.
my daily routine. Yeah.
It's healthy.
Yeah, because if you're doing this professionally, it needs a lot of time, and it's frustrating. And sometimes you don't have time for serious things
Yeah. Music.
to do. Yeah,
Like producing music, right?
music or practicing or whatever,
Yeah.
or even like watching a movie is also most important thing,
Spending time with
a more
people.
important thing
Yeah. Yeah.
than
Yeah.
using or being all the time on Instagram, for example.
That's what I see is a big risk, is like when you place a lot of importance to the comment of a person you don't know on Instagram, and that has a more value than you going for a walk with a friend.
Yeah,
That's fucked up,
exactly,
it's very hard.
exactly. That's why also I'm not posting a lot of statements, because I have strong opinion about a lot of things, but
Hmm.
I prefer to make a conversation
In person.
in person,
Mm.
because friend and colleague of mine, we were discussing about social media, and she told me like, this is not real, this is a matrix. So I agree. So
Yeah.
real life is out there, so you need to find a balance
Yeah.
between anything.
Yeah, for sure. And remind ourselves that life is outside of the phone.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, final questions. This can be like very quick, so whatever comes to mind, you can just shoot it out.
Let's see.
Let's see. What drives you in life?
um, I think curiosity,
Hmm.
to be honest, and self-improvement.
Very
Yeah.
nice. And if you have to choose one song to close your DJ sets for the rest of your life,
Well, mate, I don't know really. Like techno track, you mean?
whatever you like, could be, I don't know, whatever you would close a set of yours with.
Well, usually I'm closing with my tracks,
Hmm.
or some melodic stuff, to be honest, because I think people they can really remember
The last track.
the last track,
So much.
or like even the last 30 minutes of your set. So in these last minutes, I'm just trying to make them feel more, deeply connected with everything, with the environment. I would say, I don't know, like heal my soul. This is very, like
Yes.
cliche, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's it.
Maybe this one, yeah.
Yeah. What's one guilty pleasure track of yours that you would never play in a set, but you would listen to it and make you and be happy?
Like you mean from electronic music or
Anything.
anything? Oh, okay. Well, I really like, Toxic. from Britney
yeah.
Spears.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is actually like very cheesy and but I don't know, like I was listening to it when I was a child and I was dancing. So yeah, it
Yeah.
reminds me something nice. Or
Brings.
maybe or maybe like from Eiffel 65, I think the blue.
Oh yeah.
Blue da boo da boo da na na
What a
na
song.
na. Yeah, which I remember I bought a whole compilation
For
like
that
from
track.
Compact Disc Club back then. It was 6 CDs only for this track.
It's a beautiful song, like,
Yeah, I like it.
Italians. And would you rather play in front of 10,000 people or in a small flat for 20 friends? 10,000 people you don't know, strangers.
Well, maybe in front of 10,000 people, but having my 20 friends besides me,
I
this
love
would
it.
be nice. Yeah, I want everything.
Yeah, perfect. I love it. That would be my answer too. Like, it's perfect. Who is one artist, can be musician or non-musician, dead or alive, that you would spend one entire week on a deserted island with?
Dead or alive?
Yeah, it could be a person from the past.
Michael Jackson,
Michael Jackson?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None.
I would squeeze him, you know?
Yeah.
I
Tell me more.
Tell me more about, just teach me the moonwalk or whatever.
Done.
Yeah.
Very nice. And what is a project, anything you are working on or is from your future that you're very excited about?
Well, I'm working on music. So I have really nice releases that are coming out in the next months. Well, one that I'm really, really excited is the one in on Fiax label.
Mm.
So
Very cool.
yeah, this is one of my favorite that is coming out. And then we're working with Sarah J, the Symbiosis Part 2 in Mutual Rhythm as well. So yeah,
Very cool.
yeah, this would be like also a very nice project. But you know, sometimes because the first one was successful, now I think people, they have high expectations. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, exciting. Very cool.
Yeah.
And we have a closing tradition. So we ask everybody to suggest a question we should ask the next guest. What do you think we should ask the next guest without knowing who they're going to be?
If you can describe yourself with a cartoon, for example, what would it be?
And
Yeah.
why? Yeah.
And why? Yeah.
Perfect. There is one question for you, of course,
Yeah.
which
of
is,
course.
how do you keep going and stay sane when times are hard?
You need to stay focused on what you're doing and just to avoid any negative people and negativity in general around you. I think that for me, this is the most easy way just to stay sane and just to be calm,
Yeah.
because everything can be solved. You know, if you are willing, everything can be good at the end. Yes, and everything happens for a reason. You know,
Yeah.
even like facing hard times or like strains or weird situations that you may think like, hey, this is the end of the world, you know.
Yeah.
It always it always ends good.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason.
I like this a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, thank you so much for being with us. It's been a pleasure.
You're
to have you
welcome,
here.
and thank you so much for having me once again.
My pleasure.
My pleasure as well.
Looking forward to everything that is coming for you.
Thank you.